Hi, my name is Andy. I'm a software developer. I live in Berlin, and I'll get right to it because we only got 5 minutes. So every day during the conference, Kelvin basically said, let's use technology for good. And yesterday, Mark already talked about water a lot in his great keynote. This is about water as well, although from a different angle, and about football and Python, of course. So one big problem in our world today is access to clean water. There are almost 800 million people who don't have easy access to it, which means within half an hour. And that is a massive number. Just to get you a glimpse, if you met one person per second and do that 8 hours a day, every day, it would take you about 76 years to meet them all. For them, no access to clean water means you have to get it from open water sources. Usually they're shared with cattle and wild animals. And that's not only very unhealthy, as you can imagine, but it also takes a lot of time. The people have to walk about 6K on average to get water in those regions. And in most cases, it's the responsibility of women and children. In turn, this means that there's often not enough time for them to go to school. And without an education, you don't really have a chance to actually change this situation. Sanitation is equally problematic, but that would take too long now. Then there's this man, he's called Neven Subotic. He's originally from Bosnia. He's got a very interesting story, but the important point is that he started a foundation at the age of 22, now 10 years ago. They work with local organizations from their project regions, currently in Ethiopia, Kenya, and Tanzania, to build wells and sanitary facilities in communities, but mostly at schools. The next thing is football, or soccer, as some of you like to call it. Neven has actually been a professional football player until recently. He used his popularity and the money he earned through football for the foundation. For example, he covers the entire administrative costs, so 100% of the donations can go into the projects. When I learned about this, I thought that's awesome, and I wanted to contribute somehow. In lack of a better idea, I thought I'd just stick with football and simply donate a fixed amount of money per goal of my favorite club. So I sent a tweet, the club retweeted it, some other fans wanted to join in, and I decided to see how far this can go. And that's also the moment where Python finally comes in. I figured to make this bigger, I should probably try to make it as easy as possible for the fans. So I built a website explaining the idea, and most importantly, it has a sign-up form, which you can see on the right. The fans can pick game events, typically goals, and how much money they want to pledge for them. I then get an email formatted so it can be parsed into a list of the season pledges and the supporters. And as you can see on the left-hand side, and eventually then football is being played, and I collect the game data, count the goals and the other events, and it's all stored as simple YAML files, and Python is used to calculate the donations from that. The website is done with Lector. That's an open source static site generator written in Python, and it's pluggable, which allows me to take part of the data and bring it back into the website, like the calculated tally of donations, the list of supporters, and even like popular pledges can make it back into the form for the next season. Then every month I send out reminders with some news related to the foundation and individual links that take the supporters to the foundation's donation form. It's pre-filled with their respective data and the right amount of the donation, of course. And they can even encrypt more data, like their account number, to save them some typing every time. But this makes it easy for the fans to donate, and being able to code has made it easy for me. So in short, that's basically all there is. It's the 6th season now. We've collected more than 120,000 euros thanks to over 500 football fans. And since it only takes about 50 euro or dollar, which is roughly the same per person, this is enough to provide almost 2,500 people with clean water for many years to come. This seemingly small change actually has a huge impact on their lives. Last year, some other supporters and I had the privilege to be invited to come along to Kenya to meet the partner organization and see the projects for ourselves. And just as one example, one mother told us that before they had access to clean water, they needed to sell cattle to pay for medicine. And now they can just use the money to pay for the children to go to college. So coming back to Kelvin's, let's use tech call. In the end, this is just a small project I do in my spare time and a pretty simple static website and a bunch of Python modules to go along with it. But maybe it's a tiny example of how we can all use tech and our skills to get involved and make a small change to make things a bit better. And I would actually like to encourage you. Thanks for listening.